For thousands of years, humans have been searching for ways to tame the storms inside their minds. From ancient skull-drilling rituals to 20th century brain surgeries, our history is filled with strange and sometimes brutal attempts to control emotions we didn't fully understand. But here's the truth. Despite all those centuries of trial and error, the key to mastering your emotional life has never required sharp instruments, painful procedures, or a Nobel Prize-winning lobotomy. What it requires is knowledge. And today, science offers something that our ancestors could only dream of. Clear, proven tools that can help you stop feeling like a hostage to your emotions and start seeing them as a source of clarity, strength, and even success. It's time to see emotions for what they truly are, not enemies to defeat, but messengers to decode. Every surge of frustration, every pang of anxiety, every wave of sadness is carrying information. It's trying to guide you. But if you don't know how to manage it, that same guide can turn into a reckless driver, taking you places you never intended to go. Negative emotions often get the worst reputation. We label them as toxic, harmful, or destructive. But the truth is, they evolved for a reason. Fear kept our ancestors alive when danger lurked in the shadows. Anger fueled the courage to fight injustice. Sadness pushed us to seek comfort and connection when we needed it most. These emotions are not mistakes. They are survival tools. The challenge is learning how to use them without letting them run wild. Science now shows us something remarkable. Mastering emotions isn't just about avoiding breakdowns, it's about unlocking breakthroughs. When you regulate your emotions effectively, you perform better at work, you form deeper, healthier relationships, and you even improve your physical health. Your ability to handle what's happening inside your mind shapes not just your personal life, but the culture and communities you belong to. Think about what happens when two people with completely opposing views sit down together. Without emotional regulation, that conversation can spiral into shouting, hostility, and resentment. But with the right tools, those same two people can find common ground, open dialogue, and even solutions. That's the power of emotional mastery. It transforms conflict into collaboration. Right now, we are living in a golden era for understanding emotions. Decades of research have uncovered dozens of effective techniques, but they all fall into two big categories: inside-out and outside-in strategies. Inside-out strategies work on your inner dialogue, your perspective, your mental lens. One of the most powerful of these is called perspective shifting. On paper, it's simple. Change the way you think about a situation, and you'll change the way you feel about it. But when a negative emotion is cranked up to full volume, most people struggle. Instead of reframing the situation, they replay it in their heads, adding more details that make them feel worse. For example, if a co-worker criticizes you, you might start obsessing over their words, tone, and intention, fueling your anger rather than calming it. The key is knowing how to make perspective shifting work for you, not against you. One scientifically proven method is distanced self-talk. Instead of thinking, "I'm so upset about this," you use your own name and the word "you" as if you were advising someone else. For example, "Sarah, you've handled worse than this. You can figure it out." This small linguistic shift tricks your brain into stepping outside the emotional whirlwind. Suddenly, you're the calm advisor instead of the overwhelmed victim. And it works because we're often much better at giving others wise advice than we are at giving it to ourselves. Then there are outside-in strategies which rely on the people around us. Just like companies have boards of directors to guide big decisions, you can create your own emotional board of advisors. These are the people you turn to when you're facing emotional turbulence. The right emotional advisor listens without judgment, validates your experience, and then helps you zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. They're not there to feed your outrage, they're there to help you move forward. Why does this work so well? Because the problem isn't happening to them. They can see your situation without the emotional fog, and that objectivity is priceless. And here's the fascinating part. Once you understand how this works, you can also become a better emotional advisor for others. But emotions don't just flow in conversations, they spread. They're contagious. Research shows you can catch an emotion in seconds, whether it's a friend's excitement or a stranger's frustration in traffic. That means your emotional state is constantly influencing others, and theirs is influencing you. Managing emotions isn't just personal, it's social. Some people believe they can't control their emotions at all. And in one sense, they're right. You can't stop your brain from triggering an emotional reaction. But you can absolutely control what happens next. Once the emotion appears, you decide whether it fades, transforms, or escalates into something destructive. Here's the truth. There's no single tool that works for everyone in every situation. Emotional mastery is a skill, not a magic trick. You have to experiment with different strategies: distanced self-talk, perspective shifting, leaning on your advisors, and figure out which ones suit your personality, values, and goals. Because here's the danger. If you convince yourself that emotions are uncontrollable, you'll never even try to regulate them. And if you never try, your life will follow a very different, often darker, trajectory than it would if you believed you could take the wheel. So managing emotions isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally skilled. The question is, will you keep letting emotions manage you, or will you finally learn to manage them?